Hello everyone on YouTube and welcome to a new 3D Artcore tutorial. My name is David and today we're gonna learn how to create an island. I'm doing this tutorial because one of the fans in the channel asked me to do so, and actually I haven't done like tutorials for quite a long time, and uh, for many reasons, but the main reason is just that I don't know, I'm not into that much lately. I'm pretty much doing it whenever I need to, or there is a job offer, or I don't know. So basically, I was just trying to understand exactly what that user asked me, and his name is Game with Camo. So you can check his channel. It's pretty new, and he was just asking to create a tropical island that is a first size and big enough. Like if someone was on the island, it will take a bit to get to the other side of the island. Now I can't really, do this in a one scene of Maya. I guess that you should have a really huge resources on your computer in order to do so. And one of the question that came after he suggested that was that um, are you intending to use this as for a game engine, or is it just going to be an animation or whatever? On any case, I think that as long that you are working with Maya and you're gonna create something such as this, you may want to consider moving out to different application like ZBrush and create the terrain over there and basically everything there. But because we are using Maya and you know this channel is for Maya mainly, we're gonna try and do this something that suit this. Now I can't really you know create something which is that big, but I will create something, and from there you just can take whatever you learned and simply do it on your own preferred scale. So anyhow, let's just begin. I'm using Maya 2016, and there is a I always tell people whatever you use, whatever version of Maya I'm using currently, and because I'm using Maya 2016, that means that basically I'm using the sculpting tool later on, and this is something that you don't have with Maya 2015 and earlier. Now, basically, it means that you don't have the same set of tools that you have with Maya 2016. You have some sculpt options, but they are not like this sculpting options. So um, if you're intending to use Maya 2015 and earlier, just be aware that there is a sculpting brush over there. I'm not sure how it's called. I can't remember the tool name, but there are a few options. If you double click on it, and you can choose the softness of the brush and choose what exactly the brush will do and with how much pressure and so on. So let's just start. First of all, we will go over File and Project window, and I want you to create a new project folder. So we're going to click New here and name our project as Island, okay? And this will be stored at this location. This folder will be stored in this location by default. So it's documents, Maya, and projects. So inside this island folder, you will have all those subfolders, and there are like I don't know, like some organized way to store all sort of information that uh, comes with the scene that you create. So right now we don't really care about this. We just want to create a project folder so everything will remain organized. So click accept and then go over file again, set project, and choose the island. Okay, by default you should see it right away, but if you don't see it, then go over documents, Maya projects, and find that island. Okay, I'm gonna click set, and that means that from now on, whenever I'm gonna wrap a part, like finish a part and move into the next part, I'm taking on my spare time to create this tutorial, and sometimes I need to do some breaks. So just uh, if you want to go and save the scene, you can go over save scene as and click like, I don't know, like island 1, okay? island 1 as for hierarchy kind of way of saving. And if I'm going to click save as, now whenever I'm going to do something, I can simply go and click file save scene and it will save this information inside that island 1 file. Okay, so let's just begin. Polygon. Oh, one thing. Go over shading here. Click smooth wireframe. This is something that I'm always doing whenever I start modeling, and it's just smoothing the edges and geometry that you have inside your work area. So I'm gonna create a cube. Now, if you go over polygon and you click on this cube, what will happen is that it will drop instantly onto your screen there. So what you want to do with it is basically you want to modify this cube in order to make it look like an island. Now, I ain't going to do an island as for an island on a sea. I'm going to create a floating island, and later on this can be used as an island, uh, you know, uh, sea island. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to take this and shift right click, choose insert edge loop tool on this cube here, and with that you're going to reset the tool here, switch to multiple edge loops and type in 3. Okay, this will add 3 edges every time I'm going to click on one of those edges on each axis. So it doesn't matter if I choose this edge or this edge or this edge, it just matters that I choose one in this axis. So I'm going to click on this one, it will add 3 on that axis. Okay, if I choose this edge or this edge, it will add 3 on this axis. Okay, and I'm going to do the same over here, click on this one. Okay, so now we have like everything divided to 4 each face, and sorry, it's more than 4, it's 16, but well, you know what I meant. So I'm going to right click, choose vertices, and switch to move tool, selection tool by pressing Q, and then grab all these vertices like so. Press R to scale tool, switch to scale tool, and then grab this middle cube there in the middle of this axis. Simply click, hold, and drag it to the left to scale this down. Now you can switch to move tool and bring it a little bit up if you want, and then we will grab only those vertices and scale them as well a little bit. So we are trying to give it to give it a look of some kind of a cone, or well, it's more of like pyramid. Okay, like so. And then I want to grab these 9 vertices here. Okay, so switch to selection tool, and with holding shift you can select them one by one, switch to move tool and pull them outside. Now make sure that you didn't select anything except those 9. Okay, so before you pulling them, just turn your camera around and see that everything is as it should. Let's grab this one as well, and we are good to go. So now we're gonna use the brush tool, and because we want to use the brush tool, we first need to add a little bit more geometry. Now, sometimes when I'm explaining some things, I'm using the same term as with different words. So whenever I want to say like I want to add more geometry, that means I want to add more details, I want to add more resolution, and so on. So it's not the same meaning every time, but it's somewhat correlated to the same meaning. Okay, so whenever you use like the scalp tool, you need a lot of geometry to work with. And by saying geometry, I'm meaning more edges or faces to work with. So because this is face, it can also translate it as also more vertices or more edges or simply more faces. So I need to have more, much more than that, than what we have right now. And I'm gonna go over mesh and choose smooth option box here. Okay, 1 second, please. So right now I can go over here, edit, reset settings, and I want to add 3 divisions level to this uh, object. So I'm going to insert 3, click apply, and this is what will happen. Right now this is a smooth function that apply to this mesh, and there are 2 different ways to uh, you know apply smoothness to a shape. Now right now I applied a smooth which in some way will stay permanent to the shape that we just used this on. So we have this box, and if I will switch to selection tool, it will disappear. We don't need this box, and you can see now we have a lot more geometry. And I will explain also further why we need more geometry. So if I'm gonna grab the grab tool here, okay, I'm gonna click it. By the way, I'm on sculpting shelf right now. Earlier we were on polygon, now I'm on sculpting shelf. I have this grab tool. Now the grab tool, you need to first put your mouse over your shape, and if you don't see a circle, black circle, that means that your brush is not um, big enough, or it's too big. So I'm gonna resize it here with these, and I can't really see it. I'm a little bit disturbed by it. Okay, I know what's the problem. It's too big. Okay, so I'm gonna change it to 1 and then bring it over here. So you see, with the size of 1, I can start seeing the circle, but by default 1, it's too big right now. So I'm gonna change it to 0.5, and now you can see it's smaller. Now in order to scale it, by using hotkeys, you can just press B on your keyboard, you hold it down, and click, hold, and drag your left mouse key in order to scale this, well, or, just either scale it or make it tinier. Well, I think I'm a little bit confused on the word. Scaling is the operation, but, scale it up or scale it down. Scale it down. Sorry. So, I don't know, for some reason, these are not the values that I used to work with earlier, but I don't know, this is what it appears right now, so I'm gonna continue and work it out that way. So right now I'm in this scale. It doesn't really matter. It matters that you see that you're oh, I know why I use different scale. Never mind. You can see right now that the circle is a little bit bigger than this pointy sharp edge here beneath this island, and this is how it should be, because the grab tool, basically what it does, it's just grabbing whatever area inside the circle, and it's just pulling it, but it always remain with it. So if you click, hold, and drag it, it will only control this area. So you can't really move anything there or beside this area. Okay, so whenever you want to work with it, you need to be very gentle first, make a very tiny moves like so. Every time pick an area and just pull it outside, and you don't want to make a very sharp move like so, but you can do it. But you can see that sometimes things can get a little bit messy here. I don't know, it's just getting some weird flow here. So you don't want to do this too much. You want to do it by very tiny steps. That way you can get a very nice form for your island, and it won't remain cubic, as it were. Okay, so I'm gonna continue do this, and I'm gonna grab this here, this area. I want to pull a little bit more, so I'm gonna pull this and a little bit here, a little bit here, and then I will pull this, okay, down some, and you can do this that way. Now there is um, 2 other keys that working together with the brush tool. So if you press shift while you are trying to modify your with the brush, it will smooth backwards the shape. So if you have something like very, I don't know, let's say like so, okay, I've done something like that. If I'll press shift, it will start bring it backwards, okay, but not in. It will simply bring it backwards. Now this is good whenever you're doing some you know, I don't know, some really sharp moves, or you're grabbing an area, like if I will do it with smaller brush, you can see what happened when I'm trying to pull. Okay, maybe you can't really see it. I will try and do this here. Okay, see, it's not smooth, and this is because it's using a very low density of faces, well, low low number of faces, and that means that I don't have much geometry to work with. So at least not for this scale of the brush. So in order to smooth this, you can hold down the shift and it will bring it back a little bit, but in a smooth way. Okay. Now again, I'm gonna work with this size of the brush for the grab tool because I need it a little bit bigger to give me a better result. So I'm gonna continue this here. It's starting to look like a tooth. I don't like the cubic shape that it got, so I'm going to try and modify this a little bit more. And by the way, you can do this also to the upper part of the island, like surface of the island, so just make sure you do things properly. So turn your camera angle so you will see better what you're doing. Sometimes you can stretch things without notice and just get a little bit offsetted, or I don't know. Okay, this one is a little bit too much. And by the way, except the shift, you also have the control. So if you press control with some of the brushes, it will simply, instead of pulling out, it will push it inwards. Okay, so I'm going to use now the wax tool because these are the two that I'm most familiar with and like to work with. So if I'm going to change to wax tool right now, I'm going to scale this down. You can simply draw on your model. So it's not like the grab tool, which is grabbing a section. It will grab a section, but you can actually draw on top of your model. Now this is a very bad result. So I'm gonna undo that, Control Z, instead of trying to smooth this. And I'm gonna try and scale my brush a little bit down, because if you can see right now, this island is very small in the grid. So the brush should be a very small one whenever you work with. I'm gonna try and do this a little bit tinier. No, it's not working. So what I will do, I will grab this and I'm gonna scale this up a tone, just to the a little bit bigger than the grid, and I'm gonna bring this beneath the grid in some way. Okay, something like so. I just want to be able to see the grid. And now I'm gonna switch back to the wax tool and I'm gonna scale up my brush. And now you can see, I hope that you will be able to see that it's working pretty much better. Okay, so you can draw, like, I don't know, curvatures to your to this piece of land or island, and you can hold down the shift to smooth some of the areas, and you can change the pressure, the strength of your brush. There are many other options here. Just try and see what benefits you have from there. You can scale this more, by the way, and that way probably get better results. But if you see that it's a little bit too much, like you can't really get what you asking for from the brush, I suggest you just to add more geometry, and you're doing so by, okay, my guitar have been full. Okay, so you can see I'm adding more geometry, sorry, not more geometry, but more curvatures to this island, just to make this look a little bit more interesting. Now, every time you press and release and press again and release on the same area, it will simply make it, beveled a little bit more. So you want to do it really that way, just to add more layers to each time you um, modifying a sections or area. Okay, see, you can use the control to push it backwards in some areas if you like, just to get some depth there. And here, I don't know, maybe you want to have some sharp edges. You can hold down the shift to smooth some of them. You can simply press the left mouse button and add a little bit more. Okay, so I think that this is it for this part, but again, if you like to work a little bit more on that, please be my guest. This is very crucial because this will be your own model, and I'm sure you want this to be unique and not the same as what I'm doing right now. So just add a little bit more character to it as how you see things or how you imagine things. And you can, again, add more smoothness to this. The way that I will do this, I will just go over smooth option and add one, okay? Because we already have added three. You want to add one more, so you will have 4. Okay, so click apply. This will add more smoothness, and you can simply go on and continue with doing this. Now your wax tool will act a little bit much better than it was before. Now again, just 2 points that I want to make. One of them is that it really depends on the scale of your model. Each brush won't act the same if I mean, like each brush size right now that I'm using won't act the same as with different scale of meshes. So you really need to see each, on your model what scale it is, and then just tweak your brush to it. Okay, and yeah, that's pretty much 1 point. This is the most point. Okay, and the second point basically is to go file save scene because I already chose a name for it. Next time I will create another save and I will call it Island 2, but this will be at the next part. So thank you for watching. Have a good day. Please continue, add a little bit more details to it. I don't know, just add whatever you have in mind, and we will continue at the next part. See you, bye.